Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As usual, I will be giving a couple of 1 minute to allow you guys to come in before we start the business of the day. Hey, before then, how are you guys doing? Those on break, those on morning shift, because it's kind of it's noon now. Those working at home remotely, how have you guys been? Hope things are moving on smoothly. It is noon, the third day of the working days, if I'm not mistaken. Hope you guys are making judicious use of your day. I think we'll just take it up from here, even as people will keep joining us. Good afternoon once again and welcome. For those of you guys that are joining us for the first time, my name is Gagba Esaya, and I'm the training coordinator with Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple Small Business Development Center helps small business start and grow. We offer free one-on-one consulting and a variety of low to low-cost webinars. We are part of the nationally accredited network of the Small Business Development Centers, which has over 1,000 networks across the United States. We are here this afternoon for a webinar on digital marketing strategy that drives sales. A copy of the PowerPoint and a link to the recording will be sent to all the attendees. Being a webinar, all the attendees have been muted. However, we always encourage you guys to drop your question on the Q&A and the chat box. Today is indeed a good day. I have a wonderful presenter here. Without further ado, please allow me to welcome her even as she takes over the floor for the presentation. Ms. Wesley, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Garba. I am always excited anytime I can join you here at Temple. So everyone, as you are popping into the webinar, pop in and tell me what you hope to gain from today's session. Our title is Digital Marketing Strategies That Drive Sales. So tell me what things are on your mind in terms of digital marketing, in terms of driving sales. Drop it on me because I want this session to be all about what you need, and I want to ensure that I am hitting all of those marks. So as you think about what your goals are for this session, I'll tell you what some of my goals are. My goals are to help you understand the difference between sales and marketing. So often we think about, okay, marketing is this, sales is that. Where does marketing end and sales begin? So we'll talk about that. Then I'll go into a brief overview of what the actual sales funnel is. And then we will dive deep into the different strategies you can use to help build your sales from a digital marketing standpoint. All righty, so I see some beginners, right? Lots of beginners. I see some people asking how often to post on social media. Some people saying they have social media followers, how current followers on social media travel to the business, repeat customers. All right. Good. Keep dropping those things in. I definitely want to see specifically what you guys are interested in. I see a lot of things about social media strategy, and you're in for a great treat because everything I think about in terms of social media and marketing, it's all about driving sales. So we never do anything in a silo. So I'm not going to tell you to post and run. That's not what we do here. It's all about the strategy that we deliver. So I'm going to pop my slideshow up. And all righty. So I'm going to open up the chat also so I can see everything that's happening. All righty, got my stuff all open. Sales versus marketing. So when we think about marketing, marketing is literally one to many. So what does that even mean, Weslyene? What is one to many? You are one. You are the marketing department. You are the business owner. You are the marketing entity within your organization, and you're talking to the masses. You're talking to everyone that may be interested in your product. So somebody says, I run a farmer's market and they want vendors to have sales, the vendors to have sales that increase from their social media. So they're targeting everyone out there that may possibly go to a farmer's market, all the vendors out there that may possibly want to show up and have a booth at the farmer's market. That's what marketing is. Marketing is simply building awareness, right? So when you think about marketing, it is awareness. I am just trying to make people aware of what I do and what I offer. So this is when we're talking about promotion, awareness. We're not really thinking about actually driving the sales. It's just the promotion. So if we think about, okay, what are examples of marketing? When you're watching TV and you see a commercial, that is marketing. When you're on social media and you see an ad, that is marketing. You're just promoting things. And what does that do? Let's say you're sitting down and you're watching the news and you see an ad for a soda, a type of soda, and you don't think anything about it. In a couple days, you're out driving along and you're like, you know what? I'm thirsty. Oh, I just saw this soda on TV. Maybe I should buy it. It built the awareness and it promoted, but it didn't actually tell you go buy this right away, right? So I want to make sure you understand what marketing is, because a lot of times as small business owners, we only focus on marketing. We don't think about sales, the selling, what actually has to happen after the process. So a marketing funnel, this is something else that a lot of small business owners think about. They're like, I need a funnel. I need a funnel. What is that marketing funnel? It is simply, again, the end of your marketing funnel is the beginning of your sales funnel. So our marketing funnel is building the awareness for everyone that's out there. Then our goal with the marketing funnel is to convert. And many times when you're looking for a conversion in a marketing funnel, that conversion is a newsletter subscriber. That's somebody signing up for a free trial. That's somebody getting your low cost offer. And you know, you're not making a lot of money on that offer, or you may not be making money at all, but you want to get them on your list of some way. So again, remember, a marketing funnel is just to build awareness. It's just to get that person at that entry level product. So what is sales? Sales isn't this magical fairy dust that just happens. So you can't just simply say, I'm going to post on social media and people are going to buy from me. That's not how sales works. I'm going to pay for ads on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, and people are going to buy from me. That's not what works. So sales is also not just a funnel of money dropping down from the air. Is it? Maybe, maybe not. It is. When you sell the right way, you can literally open up the floodgates and just have money pouring out, money pouring in from many different channels. So what is sales? It is a transaction between two or more parties. So that is the key to sales, a transaction. And what does that transaction mean? Transaction can mean money going from one party to the other. A transaction can mean knowledge transfer from one party to another, but it needs to be some type of transaction. So again, marketing is building awareness. Somebody doesn't have to raise their hand to say, hey, I want to work with you. Hey, Rhonda, I want to come to your practice. Or Rona, I want to see what you're doing, right? It is an actual transaction. So money is exchanged, money or knowledge transfer, right? Because you may sell your knowledge. You may say, okay, instead of money, I'm going to accept your input, right? I don't need you to pay me. We are just going to have a transfer of knowledge, but we all have bills to pay. So knowledge transfer doesn't pay mortgage and it doesn't pay rent. So I want you to think about a sale as transfer of money. And as I continue, you guys put through what some of your challenges are. Now I want you to write down what your business is, what products or services you're actually selling, so I can help you think about your sales process. So remember, your buyer needs to receive something tangible. It has to be something that they are getting from you, whether it is a candle, whether it is mental health services, whether it is a bottle of water. There needs to be something that your buyer is receiving from you. And once you sell a product, sell a service, that is a contract. So you may not think that, hey, I'm giving somebody jewelry. It is literally a contract. And what is in that contract? Your buyer is depending on you to give them the product that you said you're going to give them. So again, in our marketing, we're building our awareness. In our sales, it is actually a transfer. It is a contracted transfer of a good or a service. So that's all I want you to think about. I'm just transferring what I know to someone else. I'm just transferring what I made to someone else, because a lot of times we think, oh, sales is creepy, sales is sleazy, I don't like sales, it's so hard. But I want you to think about transferring. That's it. So the next time you're out and they say, hey, what do you do? I transfer knowledge to people that have anxiety, because as a mental health provider, that's what you're doing. I'm transferring my handmade jewelry to clients. Right? Import dry grocery items. I'm transferring dry goods to consumers. So instead of saying I'm selling, because as soon as you tell somebody you sell something, they like to run away. But remember, sales and marketing are like peanut butter and jelly. We got to have both. Because if we only focus on marketing, we never make any money. And if we only focus on selling, we're not building awareness. We're not building the market that we need for our products. So again, you must be engaged in some marketing activities and some sales activities. Don't get so stuck only focused on, I got to do this on social media. And then you're like, but I'm posting 5 times a day and I'm going live and I'm doing this, but my bank account is decreasing instead of increasing. Right? Because you're only focusing on marketing. And on the flip side, if you only focus on selling, if you only focus on the people who are in your actual purview, then you're not building awareness for those that are outside. So now I want you to drop into the chat, what is your understanding of sales now? When we started, you may have thought, sales is sleazy, or I don't like sales. But tell me, how do you define sales? Oh, we have some really cool stuff. Gluten-free cookies and bread. Sales is problem solving. It is a transfer. Yes, yes. As in sales, we are solving a person's problem, right? And I love that, Ed, because if we think about ourselves as problem solvers, we think about what we're doing. We are helping someone. We're not pushing a product down their throat. If you sell gluten-free cookies and vegan bread, I feel like I need to talk to you. I just had a gluten-free donut. I got so excited. I was like, gluten-free donuts. But what are you doing? You are helping someone who thought that they could never have baked goods again, right? You are helping someone as a diversity and inclusion consultant. You are helping companies become aware of the problems that they're having within their organizations. You are providing a service, bringing information to the customer, right? Engagement, establishing a connection between a buyer and the products they need. Yes. All right. First objective accomplished. You guys understand sales. Now let's talk about the sales funnel. So we talked about the marketing funnel, right? And in the marketing funnel, we're trying to get a conversion. So we're trying to get somebody on our email list. We're trying to get them to sign up for a free trial or get the smallest thing that we have in our actual database to give them. So where the marketing funnel ends, the sales funnel begins. So right here where we see leads, that is the end of the marketing funnel. And that's the beginning of the sales funnel. And then once those leads, so that's people who are like, hey, I like what you do. I'm going to sign up for your email list. Okay, I'm kind of interested. And then they start taking more of an interest in you, right? They become a prospect. The prospect is really the meat of your sales funnel. These are the people that you have to nurture. These are the people that we should focus on when we think about sales, because they are the ones who have raised their hand. And as Ed said, they have a problem that they know needs to be solved, right? So whether that problem is they want handmade jewelry, They want to support local businesses. They need mental health care. They need a diversity consultant. They have identified a problem that needs to be solved. And so this is where you should be focusing your time, these prospects. And now they realize they have a problem. And your goal, now that they have identified a problem, is to convince them that they should buy from you. And that's how we go from just a casual prospect to someone who's like, okay, now I bought that first $5 sample you had. Now I want to spend $50, or I want to sign up for a monthly subscription. That's what our goal is. Our goal is to create raving fans by solving problems that we have. So a lot of times there are all this jargon out there, MQL versus the SQL. And they're like, I don't even know what that is. I'm just getting started. A marketing qualified lead is someone who is out there in the ecosphere and they vaguely realize that, I might want to do something about this. I'm kind of interested in what you do, but I really don't want to talk to you yet. I'm just a passive person. So this is a person that you kind of see lurking on your social media. Every now and then they might like or comment on something that you're doing. Maybe they're on your newsletter. They open some emails. They don't open other emails, but that's a marketing qualified lead because you have built the awareness. They know who you are. And so they're like, okay, I guess I kind of want to talk to them. They're more likely to become a customer compared to other leads. So if you have marketing qualified leads, so people who are liking and commenting on social media, your goal is to convert them. Remember, in marketing, we want to convert them into a sales qualified lead. And a conversion can simply be getting them on your email list. If you don't have an email list, you should start one now. You can have 5 people on that email list. That doesn't matter. It is more so about the actual content you're putting out, because these marketing qualified leads are likely to become customers. A sales qualified lead, this is someone who has an identified problem that you can solve. So when we think about, okay, problems, what problems do I solve with my product? I want you to think about the difference between solving a problem and selling to a need. So a lot of times we're selling to a need, right? Okay, I need to get some new jewelry, right? I need to have more people at the farmer's market. I need to do this, right? I have an online boutique and people need to come online because they don't want to go in the store. But problem versus need. So if you sell to someone's need, we're selling to the surface level. You are trusting your buyer to understand the actual problem they have. But a lot of times people don't understand. So what is a good problem versus a need? And since I see somebody on here selling gluten-free stuff, I'll give you a very recent example. I was having terrible migraines. And so I'm like, what? I don't know. What am I doing wrong? I've cut everything out. So I took a food sensitivity test and I realized that I have a sensitivity to wheat, not necessarily gluten. They said some other protein in wheat. So I cut out gluten out of my diet. I love sugar. Like when I say love sugar, I eat food because I have to eat. Like I love to bake. I love everything about baked goods. And so to say, yeah, okay, Weslyne, you have to find different things to replace, you need to eat less of this, less of that. It was actually a big problem for me to not be able to eat the type of baked goods that I needed. So I went on a search. I was like, this is a problem for me. I love baked goods, but I can't do gluten. So many things are off limits for me. So that was a problem. So my problem was I need things that are free from wheat, free from gluten, so that I can still live a happy and healthy life. So what we have to do is understand the true problems that our product are solving so we can better speak to our leads. So when we think about the difference between an SQL and an MQL, SQL is in the buying cycle. So if you have, so I see Mumbai sells 100% vegan hair care system, and it delivers 3 times more moisture in curly hair. So somebody who is in the buying cycle of Mumbai's product, they know that their hair is dry. They have curly hair, and no matter what they try, it is dry. So that is a sales qualified lead. Whereas somebody who is a marketing qualified lead, it's just somebody with curly hair. Maybe they haven't experienced dryness. Maybe they haven't experienced breakage yet. So they're just casually following you, but they don't have a problem yet that needs to be solved. And yes, Becca, gluten-free life is good because I'm finding all kind of good stuff to eat now. So I want to make sure you guys understand marketing qualified lead versus sales qualified lead, because a lot of times we spend so much time on the marketing qualified leads, and that's why we're not converting. So the problems that our products are solving. So now I want you to drop in the chat, what problems do your products solve? That is what we need to talk about when we're doing anything online and in social media, newsletter. We need to talk about the problems our products or services are solving. So I will wait for some things to come in. Okay, stress reduction, pain relief, and self-healing, process trauma, family conflict. So these things, guys, that you're writing down, food insecurity, accepting EBT. So Emily, let's tap into that a little bit more. When you are talking to your sales qualified leads, yes, you are talking to the general public, but you accept EBT and SNAP benefits. So what that means is that is a subset of people who are getting EBT and SNAP benefits and care about eating healthier food, more sustainable food, right? So we need to speak to those problems. Clutter, organization, helping contractors meet their minority participation goals. Infuse and sustain moisture in hair, breakage, eliminate itching and flaking. These are the things we need to be talking about. If you see someone who is a passive person on your, just liking or commenting your post, but you go pop over to their profile and you're like, oh, wow. Oh, you're talking about this, this, and that. Oh, you're a sales qualified lead. So look for the indicators. And when we go into our next section, we're going to be talking about the 3 pillars of prospecting. And I want you to keep these problem statements close. If you have it just in the chat, make sure you copy it down somewhere on your computer, because everything we do, we're going to build upon our problem statements. Okay. So now give me 1 second. I'm going to get to a different spot in my presentation. And yes, all righty. So if you guys have any questions, I want you to make sure you are putting them in the chat. Handmade jewelry, learning how to make it. Solving community conflict between multinational and local communities. These are good. We have such diverse businesses here, people doing amazing, amazing things in the community. So now let me get back to, okay. So now we understand sales. We understand marketing. We know the difference between a marketing qualified lead and a sales qualified lead, right? And we're spending our time with sales qualified leads. We need people who have problems we can solve. So this is the secret sauce here that I'm about to share with you. This is the thing that sets successful business owners apart from those that are just scraping along. 3 pillars of prospecting. This is key. You must be engaged in all 3. And I do not want you to overwhelm yourself. I don't want you to go out tomorrow and say, I have to do all 3 of these. But I do want you to make a goal to ensure that you are spending time in each one of these buckets. So the 3 pillars of prospecting: networking, educating, and directed prospecting. So networking is literally going to networking events. We're going to dive deeper into each one of these. Going to networking events, meeting referral partners or customers. Educating is my favorite phrase is educate them and they will come. Lunch and learn, webinars, seminars. I'm going to walk you through all of those. And directed prospecting is what we do on social media. That is everything that we do on a digital platform. You need to have a balance in all 3, because let's hope that something doesn't happen again as what happened in 2020. But if you were only going to in-person networking events, your business kind of fell apart because we were no longer able to do that. If you're only focused on doing social media stuff, now that Facebook has changed their logarithm and the privacy laws with Apple and all those things, your business is falling apart. So we need to have our balls in each one of these 3 buckets. The first thing that is important in prospecting is calling on the right person. So we have walked through and we have talked about the problems that we solve. And the next question is, who do you solve those problems for? Do you solve those problems for everybody within your city? You can say, we only work within this region, and that's okay. You can say, we work all across the country and we serve people that are between the ages of 20 to 25. That's okay. But you do need to have it in a tight little fashion. You can't say we do everything, because if you are everything to everyone, you are nothing to no one. So figure out who the right person is. I like that, Rhonda. Blended families, right? So blended families in the South, in the North, blended families with children under 10. Get a little bit specific, because the more specific you are, the better you can prospect. So networking. The key to networking is to not go to a place where, one, there are a lot of your competitors. We don't want to go there. The reason we call on the right person is we want to go where our prospects are. So Rhonda, let's say you say, I focus on blended families that have children that are younger than 10, right? So what kind of things would be good for you to go? What kind of networking events do parents that children under 10 attend? Maybe you say, hey, I noticed that there's an interest group for people who are signing their kids up for football or soccer. You wouldn't think that's a place to go networking, would you? No, most people aren't going to go there. And I'm not telling you to go be pushing your services, handing out cards and brochures when you're at these places. You're making connections, you're meeting people, you're introducing yourself to people. Let's say you call on manufacturing companies, then you need to figure out, okay, I noticed there's a monthly meeting for the Society of Manufacturing Engineers in my town. I'm gonna go because all the operation managers at manufacturing companies are there. That's where we network. Going to places like BNI and, general networking places, they're okay, but I want you to think outside the box. Where is my target audience showing up? Trade shows. Trade shows are great ways to network. Again, the key is, if I'm a sales consultant, I don't want to go to a convention that's all about sales consulting because all my competitors are there. I'm going to go to a manufacturing show. I'm going to go to an engineering show where my customers are. That's where I'm going to go. And with a trade show, the key is If you say, you know what, this is a good show for me, do not just show up at a trade show and put your booth up. You must find a way to present a paper, right? You need to engage with the attendees beforehand. And this can be a small little trade show. In your town, you can go search whatever your target audience is and type in trade shows. And sometimes it's like $50 to attend. And you're like, okay, let me submit an abstract. What am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about the benefits of using this type of hair care, right? Industry events. So we talked about this one already. Going to things like a manufacturing conference, going to things like, I see somebody who was into vegan hair care. So going to a farmer's market actually would be a great place to go because people are all interested in sustainability, right? They're interested in organic type things. So again, you may be like, well, but they're there to buy food. Yes, they're there to buy food, but if they're interested in that way of life, they're going to also say, hey, this is vegan hair care. I'm interested in that. Your local chamber of commerce, a great place to go. Chamber of commerces have everything from startup businesses to the largest businesses in your area. And it is simply, they usually have once a month. I know down here in my area, they have one that's open to the public and it's called First Fridays, and businesses from all over just show up. So this is a little more of a generic one. And again, you are going to identify key customers, yes, but you're also going to identify good referral partners. So people who you can refer business back and forth to. Networking groups. So find a good one. And the key to these networking groups is typically, not always, the more it costs, the better quality. So if you join one that's $100 a year, you're going to have people that are in and out and bopping in and out. But if there's one that's maybe $100 a month, the quality of people, they're a little bit more committed if they have to spend $100 a month. And again, you're trying to build a referral network. So let's say I'm a consultant, a diversity consultant. What are adjacent businesses? So I may want to meet marketing consultants because they're working with companies and they see from their marketing standpoint that they may have challenges with the marketing collateral they're using that may not be diverse. So I want to talk to that person. Okay, I make jewelry. So who would be adjacent to me? Maybe somebody who's making candles or making any other handmade crafts. Those are people I want to talk to because we have the same customers. Education based, teach them and they will come. This is one of my favorite. And it's my favorite just because I have the heart of a teacher. And so I tell people I can show up and talk about anything. Just give me a topic and I can talk about it. And so a seminar. These days, people are doing less seminars and more webinars, kind of like what we're doing right now. And so again, a seminar is as easy as you can go to a university and you can say, hey, professor, whatever department is adjacent to you. If you're making handcrafted jewelry, maybe you go to the School of Art. If you're a consultant in a specific area, you go to that school and you say, hey, I was wondering, can we co-sponsor an event? I want to bring in people from the area and, have it at the university because it's a low cost to rent a room. Or you can go to a hotel and rent a room at a hotel and invite people. So those people that you're meeting networking, those are the people you invite. So you see how one thing leads to the next. So you meet people and you don't necessarily throw things down their throat immediately. You say, okay, so here's the next step. Come to this seminar. Webinars. They're a little bit easier. They're lower cost because all you need is a platform. You need a Zoom account and then you start inviting people. Again, the people that are on your email list, the people who you meet on social media, the people who you meet in person, invite them to your webinars. A white paper. This is getting a little bit deeper. And so this is talking about the problems. So we talked about what are the problems that my actual buyer is having. So what you do in a white paper is you write out those problems. These are what my clients are challenged with. These are the solutions we help them overcome. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm telling people exactly how to do it. Why are they going to come to me? The people who read your white paper and say, okay, I know how to do it, those are not sales qualified leads. Those are marketing qualified leads. So never be afraid to give away too much information, because the ones that you need, this is establishing your thought leadership. A case study is in the same vein, helping people understand how you can help them. Lunch and learns are really great if you target, let's say a good target area for you would be real estate agents. You could go to a brokerage and say, hey, can you get all of your realtors to come in? I'll order luncheon and I'll just teach them a topic. Are you interested in that? So a lunch and learn is a really good thing to do within a company that you're targeting, or within an organization. Maybe there's a nonprofit, or maybe a church, or maybe an organization that you belong to. And you just ask, hey, I'd love to buy lunch for 10 people and then present a topic. And remember, the key with education-based is please don't sell. Please don't sell. Talk to people about the problems that they're having, right? What are the problems that you're having? And how can I help you solve them? Let me give you tips to solve those things. Again, if you're talking like me, podcast. Search for your field. Search for blended family podcasts. Once you find them, every podcast literally has the host email address that you can find right online. Simple email. Hi, such and such. I was wondering, are you looking for interesting guests to interview? One sentence. That's it. And then they're like, yeah. And you say, well, great. This is who I am. Would love to be a guest on your podcast. Getting on other people's platforms. This is a great thing to do. Get on their platforms and you're talking to their audience. Now, our directed method. This is the one that we're most familiar with in our realm. So I don't say cold calling. I don't like cold calling because it's like the most annoying thing. Warm calling. What's the difference between a warm call and a cold call? So a warm call is, you know, something about the person you're calling. You know that they are gluten intolerant. You know that they have a blended family. You know that they need to get some financial independence. You understand this. And so you call up and say, so maybe I am Johanna and I say, hi, John. Hi, this is Weslyne giving you a call. And you're like, what do you want? Hurry up. They're already on guard. Oh, I know you get lots of calls like this every day. I am not here to waste your time. I noticed that you blah, 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 blah. You need to find something that they've done, a post that they've written online, a blog article. It's something that they've done. You need to connect with them because people love themselves. I know how much you love yourself, and that's how your customers feel about themselves. So, hey, John, this is Weslyne. I noticed your LinkedIn post and you're talking about your expansion of this new unit. I just really wanted to learn a little bit more about how you went about doing that. And then they'll just talk, probably for like 5 minutes. And you're like, man, that's amazing. So I was wondering, you're growing your company, but what are you doing to grow your own individual wealth? What did you do? You kind of threw them off. They're not expecting a conversation. They're not expecting you to connect something they did to something that you're doing. That is the art of a warm call. So find something about the person and connect with them when you call them. Just showing up. So if you sell a product, that is you're able to drop off a sample. So if you think about the pharmaceutical sales reps, what do? They show up at doctor's offices, they sit in the waiting room and they wait. And when the doctor has 10 minutes, they give them their product and they talk to them about it and ask them to, hey, can you give these samples out? So think about that. Who's on my target list of clients that I want, of prospects that I want to become clients? You can just show up at their offices. This is a little bit different now in COVID, but if they have a physical presence, just show up. And social network prospecting. So when we think about what we're doing on social media, again, if you have a marketing qualified lead, how do we get them to become a sales qualified lead? If somebody raises their hand, that is an open invitation for me to talk to you. So what does that mean? You raise your hand by liking or commenting on my posts. If you raise your hand and do that, I'm going to connect with you. I'm going to say, hey, how are you? I'm not going to pitch and sell, right? Don't say, hey, come buy from me. Say, hey, Jane, thank you so much for commenting on my post today. How are you? Open up the conversation. Be a human, just like you would in a networking situation. You would say, thank you for doing this, and ask them a question. How's your Wednesday going? And warm emails. A warm email is similar to a warm call. It is connecting with the person, finding something about them online that is like, okay, you wrote this blog article, I really enjoyed this. And then you have like it's like one sentence, guys, about your product, not a whole bunch of extra stuff. So I gave y'all a whole bunch of things. I think I probably went to 30 different ways to prospect. 30. That was a lot. I don't expect you to do all of them, but I want you to think about, based on what you heard today, what do you feel that you can implement immediately? Which one of all of the methods could you say, yes, I can try this? And if you have any other questions, please put them in the Q&A or drop them in the chat. Now is your time to pick my brain. All righty. So Becca Phillips says, how often should you send email newsletters to your email list, and how much information should be included in each email? Should I feature one product or more? Yes, I love this. All right, Becca. So this is very dependent on the product or service that you sell. My best practice is once a week, no more than 2 times per week. So if you sell a product it's a lower cost, right? So if you're selling like a consumer good that is lower cost, you can go 2 times a week, but it needs to be one thing, right? One thing per newsletter. And let's go deep on it, right? So let's say, Becca, I don't know what specifically you sell. You can drop that in the chat, but let's say I'm selling handmade jewelry. And so I want to highlight just one thing, right? Just one product. Maybe I have a case study. So a lot of these things can be combined. Let's say I have a case study on somebody who was not able to ever wear any kind of costume jewelry because it always made them itch. That's one thing in one email newsletter. And what that does is we are tapping in to the people who are having issues. So again, one thing per newsletter. If it's a product, highlight the one product. If it's a challenge people are having, if it's a case study, if it's a success story, one thing. If you're having a sale, it's okay to have sales. It's okay to invite people to your webinars. It's okay to invite them to your seminars. And so let's say you have a webinar planned in 30 days. At the bottom, you always want to include like, hey, want to learn more about this? Then join our webinar, join our seminar. So I hope that helped. All righty. So is it okay to warm contact people who like and comment on your social media? Absolutely, yes. They raised their hand and said, hey, Ambrish, I like you. I'm interested in what you're doing. And again, you thank them. Literally, you say, thank you for commenting on my post. Thank you for liking my post. And the best practice is initially contact them on the platform they contacted you on. So it's a little bit creepy for them to like something on Facebook and you connect with them on LinkedIn. It's just a little creepy. So if they like to post on Facebook, you send them a connection request on Facebook, right? On Facebook, you can't send personalized requests, but on LinkedIn, you can. You say, thanks for liking my post. Once they accept it, then you start the conversation. And your goal is to move them off social media, right? So that is what you want to think about it. I did warm calling and it works. Coming in the blogs and the individual posted some of their problems, I step in. Awesome, Francis, awesome. Literally saying, hey, I did a little bit of research, because again, if you are selling something that is a little bit higher value, you want to have enough information about that person so that you can extract value, so that you can actually get the sale. If you're selling something that's more of a commodity item, it's more important to understand your specific niche, your specific type of person, so that you can speak directly to them. Clothing and accessories, would 2 times a week be enough for sales or upcoming events? So Shanae, what I would do is I want you to think about, let's write some case studies, right? So some success stories, have some testimonials, reviews, and we don't want it, no matter what you sell, we don't want people to expect and anticipate, I'm not going to buy anything until they have a sale. And they have a sale once a month, so I'm going to wait until the end of the month to buy, or I'm going to wait till Memorial Day or 4th of July. I encourage you to not have your sales around normal sales times, because you're conditioning your audience that my product is going to go on sale at a certain time and they will only buy then. So what you want to do is you want to build the value. You want to help them see the story. Like even thinking about, how did you even decide to start this store? Why are you selling clothes and accessories? And it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be just a few sentences. It could be a quick video. The same content you post on social media, you can use in your newsletters. All righty, so education through webinars, because even though SNAP and EBT holders don't know they're qualified for purchases, what they can buy for farmers market with SNAP. Yes, Emily, you have a great advantage for educational based prospecting, right? Because because your target demographic, they don't know how they can use their benefits and they don't understand. And it's not just you can use your benefits at a farmer's market. It's also the benefit of the things that they're buying, right? So the fresher fruit, the better vegetables, those things that they can get at the farmer's market benefits their body holistically, right? And so having webinars, having even at the farmer's market, having like a lunch and learn or a seminar right then and there, because what are you going to do? Let's say the farmer's market opens at 9 o'clock and you have a seminar right there at 9, from 9 to 9:30. And you say, hey, everybody who attends gets something, right? If you need to draw people out. But it's like, let me teach them about this. And then they go shop, right? So really educate. So if you have a product or a service and you know that your target market doesn't know a lot about it, which most of the times our target market doesn't know a lot about it, educate them. Educate, okay? All right. How can I learn and get good at warm calling emails? I don't feel confident or natural. You know, it's hard. I won't lie to you, Jennifer. It is hard to warm call and email. And this is what I say. You must practice, but don't practice on your real customers, on your real prospects. Practice on people that you kind of don't care about. So Jennifer, let's say your target market is, I don't know, I'm going to use something random, 20-year-old women in Washington, D.C., just random, right? Start calling 20-year-old women in Utah or 20-year-old women in California that if they say no or hang up in your face, you don't care because it's not your target market, and your customers will never know. But really what you have to do, the more you know about people, the better. And the hardest thing about warm calling is the first step. And so that first step of I have to do it. You have to do the things that you don't like to do when your brain is most active. My brain is most active first thing in the morning. I work with clients and they say my brain is most active at 2:00 in the afternoon. And so that's when I make them do their calling or the thing that they don't like the most. Because if you wait until the end of the day, it's never going to get done. So say I'm going to devote 30 minutes at 9:00 every day and I'm going to warm call. That's it. When I'm done, I'm done. And then every day, and you'll get better. It's just a muscle. It's a muscle that you have to exercise a little bit more each and every day, but small steps. So please, guys, this is a QR code, and I would love for you to connect with me on LinkedIn. Drop me a note. I have resources and guides, questions to help you doing better at cold calling, cold emailing, all of those things. And so any more questions? I think we have a few more minutes before we have to officially cut out. But
please. Sorry, please. Just a quick one. This goes to our wonderful attendees. I did post that a 30-second survey about today's webinar. Remember, we at Temple SPDC, we always cherish your feedbacks, even as it helps us to improve on the services we provide to you guys at a low cost. So kindly take 30 seconds of your time, to help us to fill out the survey link I just posted. I think we can continue, please.
All right. So yes, you should get a copy of the recording. And I don't see any more questions coming through, but if you guys have any questions about prospecting, how do you develop a QR code? Yes, me and all my tech things. So actually, okay, yep, I will put the QR code up. So the way that you do this, it's actually on the LinkedIn app. If you send me a message on LinkedIn, I will send you the link of how you pull it up. But it's literally in your LinkedIn app. And this is actually really good for networking because when you go to the very top of the bar, there is a little thing. It shows you a little square like a QR code, and you can get people to scan it right at a networking event. So like I stopped, even before the pandemic, I stopped doing business cards. I'm like, hey, just scan my LinkedIn QR code, and I do the same thing on their side. So if you send me a message, I will for sure send you how to get your QR code, because this is my LinkedIn QR code. And then you see it has literally, it pulls up your picture and your title. Thank you. Somebody said, I'm so helpful and great. Thank you, Pearl. I'm glad that you found value in this. All righty, guys. So I'll leave this QR code up here for a few more seconds. And I thank everyone for participating so fully. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you for a wonderful presentation. And this also goes to my wonderful attendees. Thank you guys for keeping it there with us. Just as our presenter rightly said, a copy of the PowerPoint and a link to the recording will be sent to you guys by the end of today or tomorrow. So kindly take your time, and everything will be fine. Wesley, from what I'm seeing on our attendees, on our chat box is just a normal thank you. Before I wrap it up, I will also want to use this opportunity to thank my fellow Temple SPDC staff for their wonderful cooperation. Without them, we wouldn't have been here. Thank you guys for making it possible for this webinar to come into existence. And I think in the absence of any other question, we will just call it a day. Thank you once again, and do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.